And hello and welcome to AleksTabletops MTG Study session 140. My name is Alex, this is Buddy, and we are finally back to streaming. So yeah, I'm back with web camera, I'm back with Buddy, it's awesome, and I'm basically back to streaming. At least on my gaming channel. It's gonna be quite a while before I will get back to my creative stuff, but again, you have to start somewhere, and of course, the easiest things to start is usually games. So yeah, without further ado, let's just go and play today. So let's just go and check if everything is working. At least on my gaming channel. Yep, sound works. Seems fine. I don't know if we're actually hearing magic or not. Either way, so let's just go. So, yep, seems everything is working. Yeah, good. So, since today, the first day back after quite a bit of a hiatus, the first thing that I want to talk about is, I guess, we have to prepare ourselves before the new set, Throne of Eldraine, or Eldraine, which will be out September 26, I believe, something around that time frame. And probably like 15 days ago, I started to collect gold in game, not spending it on packs, and basically hoping to spend all this. We're going to have one full month where we're probably going to earn at least the same amount until September 24th and 26th, and I believe I will open a lot of packs right at the beginning. It's gonna be super cool. So yeah, let's just go and continue to play. So the first question, I don't know what type of deck we're actually going to play, since this is kind of a casual mode session as usual. Just as a reminder, most of the decks that I'm playing are 80 card decks. I'm sticking to my own rules in Magic. This is the reason why I am the Truth Seeker, because I basically, throughout years that I played Magic, I tried to find my own personal truth in playing Magic, and throughout the years I basically discovered that I'm having most fun by playing Magic, not necessarily competitively, but somewhat, I don't know, a balanced way. Like, I like to play competitively, but I want to play on my own terms, so I don't like to stick to 60 card decks that are quite predictable. So if I will create a predictable deck, I'd rather make it a little bit more unique by extending the number of cards to 80, which is something that I'm basically doing. So yeah, let's just take quite a complicated deck, or semi-complicated deck. We could play Color Seekers. Let me see the last time that we played, what type of deck we played, and based on that. So the last deck that we played in Russian session was Elementals, like the Elemental Seekers, which means that we're not going to choose it. Before that we played deck with wands. Okay, let's just today stick to spirits. Again, we have about an hour to play Magic, not that much time, so we rather spend this time with it. So yeah, let's just stick to spirits. It's quite interesting deck. I didn't rebuild it. At this point I probably have more cards to add to it. Let's see. So we have 2 Sailors, 4 Shivan Fires, 4 Shocks, 4 of these spirits, 2 of these. I don't believe they have more. No. 4 Lava Coils. Yeah, I actually made this deck better after I added a little, like, couple of more removals, because without removal this deck was super hard to play. By adding removal, of course, became much more interesting. This is kind of a questionable card. The only reason why this card is here because this is a spirit. Ideally I would remove it from this deck, but for now let's just stick to it. This is the first kind of a card that I potentially could remove if I will kind of see imbalance. So maybe we could add more of these and less of these, because lately I opened a little bit more copies of Executioner through opening boosters. So yeah, this one is actually better because it's a flyer. This is not necessarily plays well, although it's a creature. Although this is a bigger creature, it kind of stops opponent from attacking for 1 turn. But again, This is kind of better because it's a potential removal. Okay, of course sticking to this one. I don't want to add more copies of this, it's quite heavy. So yeah, the other copies is basically, we're going to stick to the number margins. So yeah, the amount of lands are the same. I don't believe that I opened new multicolor lands. This is... oh, I actually got a third copy of these. Maybe. I need to put it instead of the island, and no. So yeah, that's it. So let's just go and play with our Spirit Seekers. The Spirit Seekers. I already went through 5 wins today. We're not going to play rank, we're just going to play again regular play, and go. So yeah, new set is coming, September 26th. A lot of new changes. They are preparing us for historic kind of format. By experimenting with a lot of weird changes. Most of the things that players are not satisfied with at this point, that about the historic, that in order to craft a historic card, which is basically a card that's out from the rotation, you have to spend 2 wild cards instead of 1, which is crazy stupid. I mean, most of the players are livid about it. It's just weird, but hopefully they will rethink it, although I understand why they're doing it. I mean, it's kind of justified, although it seems not unfair, but it is justified. Hopefully game is not going to lag. I didn't play it in Magic in full HD for quite a while. And of course, don't forget that I'm also recording it. Okay, this is a 3-color deck. We don't have white. No, we actually have white. We have we have red, and we have blue too, which is superb. So let's think. I doubt that this deck has returners from the graveyard, so I will spend live coil on something bigger. Let's just kill this knight. It's going to become a pretty big problem for us, because whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, each opponent loses 1 life. It's going to add up and drain a lot of lives from us. Wait a second. Okay. So yeah, we have about an hour. I don't know. I guess we could block it. Again, this spirit is pretty easily killable. The only thing that you need to do is just target it. Yeah, I doubt that we're going to win this game. It's going to be quite hard. So, we don't have that many choices at this point. One thing that we need to kind of make sure that it's not going to become stronger is probably Zombie Army, because there is a possibility that the opponent has a lot of cards with a mass. So because of this, probably could be a good idea to use Dungeon on 1/1. Let's keep it. No, let's keep it in defense and actually kill 2/2 with that touch, if opponent will attack with it. Of course. Murder. Yep. So again, we need to get rid of a Death Toucher. It's a shame we don't have any creatures to copy, which is a problem. So the only thing that we're left with are basically removal We have Lava Coil. We have Shaman Fire, which I probably would use for on opponent's turn. And this turn we need to decide what creature kill with Lava Coil. This guy probably, because it gives all zombie creatures that touch. Seems like a good idea. But at the same time... No. Yeah. Let's do that. And we're going to use Shaman Fire because this is an instant on opponent's turn. Of course. Okay, this is exactly what we need to kill, like right now. Again, the only chance for us to win this match is probably utilize Vision. And hope that we're going to get something besides the land. The cool thing is that we will be able to copy this illusion into a Planeswalker with additional counters, so next turn we can basically create a copy of Wujin, which is not going to be a legendary, so it's not going to die. And having two Wujins is kind of an interesting thing. I never did it before. It's quite sick. This was sick. Lovely. So yeah, getting back to streams finally, slowly but surely. It's super, by the way, loud. I mean, hopefully I'm not shouting too much, because for me it's super loud. I'm barely hearing myself. So yeah, so opponent decides to quit. Because again, we have basically two removals in Ujin. We have infinite cards that could be potential blockers, that they will give us a lot of awesome cards. This is, by the way, one of the most weird games that I played with Spirit Seekers, because as we saw, we didn't have that many Spirit synergy in play. In most cases, we just, I don't know, we didn't have any synergy, Spirit synergy at all. We mostly basically won because of one Planeswalker. The only thing that Spirits provided us with is basically defense, permanently temporary defense, that allowed us to get to a proper Planeswalker, which is pretty sick. Ugh. Super Bunny! This is the cover for water, to protect it from dust. Ugh. So, again, pretty weird start. I mean, we're not going to have problems with lands, but we don't have anything for early play. It's a risky hand, but I probably will take it. This is quite interesting. So yeah, I don't know what to talk about. Like, truly, there is a thing that I would want to talk about, but I can't. So, because of this, I just kind of have to contain myself for as long as possible and not talk about it. Exciting news, not 100% exciting, but it's potential exciting news. It might not pan out, but hopefully it will. Okay. Should we kill this guy with Lava Strike or with Lava Coil, or keep it on something better or bigger? Let's kill it. It's creature with flying. The earlier we're going to remove it, the better. So hopefully we'll draw removal to get rid of the Reef, because this is one of the most annoying cards. So most of the people, when they see a Reef entering the battlefield and then opponent has a lot of lands and potentially a lot of elementals and then 2 copies of it at the same time, it's actually better to concede the duel. But I won with those situations without quitting. And if I'm not going to win, I will still gain the experience that I need to play against these type of decks. So the other thing that we can talk about is basically historic. So what is historic format? September 26th, again, is the new set, Throne of Eldraine, will be out, and at some point they're going to. It's better to stay in defense. And at some point it's going to create a rotation for future sets. So early sets such as Ixalan, both 2 sets of Rivals of Ixalan and Ixalan are going to be out. They're going to become a historic, they're going to basically become a historic set, or for historic format. M20, M90, no, M20 actually will stay. M19, oh, you gotta be kidding me. Yeah, we're going to lose this one. M19, so let me open the thing and probably read this. I have this information on top of it. I actually could show this information, could show you this information while we're losing. So yeah, here how it looks basically. What we have here is rotation, the standard rotation. Like right now we have this. We have Ixalan, Rivals of Ixalan, Dominaria, M19. We have this, basically all of it, and also the future sets that will be out in 2020. Yeah, so, and now with, like, the current standard is this, but the next standard is going to be this. So these 4 sets will be out of rotation and they will become standard, they will become a historic. And with historic there's going to be a lot of problems, because what they're planning with historic at this point is kind of disappointing. Because there are a lot of things in historic that's not necessarily good. The first problem that they're not going to open right away, as I thought so, the previous sets that we played in closed beta and in early, or probably mostly in closed beta. Okay, we need to think. So we don't have that many choices here. We need to protect ourselves. So yeah, instead of giving us the access to the full sets, previous sets, such as Amonkhet, Kaladesh, and etc., Amonkhet and Kaladesh block, instead they're going to first focus for now on adding at least 20 cards per month, like from random sets, not necessarily from Kaladesh, not necessarily from Ixalan. These cards are going to be unique for historic, which is kind of interesting because they might actually give us cards outside of the like even Modern Spectre, maybe some cards from Vintage or whatever. So it's actually going to be much more interesting, and that way they're going to control meta game of new historic format a little bit better. So there are a lot of reasons behind this, why they're choosing to do this. Everything was explained in this, basically. Let me put it inside of here for you to read. So yeah, right here. Hopefully it's going to be posted. Yeah, so basically use this link to get to this article. If you're not watching the stream and you're just watching the video, hopefully you will be able to see the things. And we're dying. It's actually rather, it's better to concede this duel. But maybe I wish I had mass removal right here, but I don't. Yeah, link is actually visible. Magic Digital MTG Arena, State Beta, August 29, 2019. Our articles inside of the archive. Cool. It's actually visible, so you will be able to look through it during the video if you're interested. So first we're gonna do this, and then we're gonna do this. Usually I'm not giving up. So, of course. But it doesn't change the fact that the opponent has to pay 2 for each attacking creature, which is only 3 of them. So it's basically 6. Now 8. So yeah, I'm waiting for a historic format, but one of the problems, like, the thing with wildcards, again, it's pretty disappointing. So now, if I want to, for instance, craft card from, let me see what type of card I would want to craft. So these cards will be available for craft for a regular one-to-one basis, and in order to craft a historic card, haha, this is sick. Just attack with 1 creature and kill this. No opponent decided to skip because didn't understood. Like, this is one of the most off-putting cards that I'm encountered throughout the Magic play. Most of, like, usually people that playing Magic quite a while, they're not familiar with this card. And because of this, they're making a lot of mistakes by not reading or differently interpreting the text. So this card produces effect that is going to maintain regardless of this creature present in play. So opponent probably thought, okay, we destroyed the spirit, now we will be able to attack. And it was not the case. So we lost regardless. So entering this illusion is just going to probably enter with 1/1 because +1/+1 counter. Ideally, it would enter 0/0. No, it actually entered 0/0 because it entered as none of the copies of the cards, and then this is, by the way, interesting. So enter the battlefield as a copy of a creature or planeswalker you control, except it enters with an additional +1 counter. So again, this is quite a unique thing inside of the text right here. So first it has to enter as the creature, so as the creature itself, it's not a creature, or apparently. It's interesting why it didn't enter with +1/+1 counter, because we probably didn't target any, like, creatures. So it kind of forcefully has to enter as a creature in order then to place a +1/+1 counter on it, so it doesn't work like, okay, we're just going to put it in play as a creature itself, this illusion, and then it's going to put +1/+1 counter on itself. In order for it to happen, we have to choose a target of the copy, yeah, creature or planeswalker. This is pretty interesting. I learned quite a bit about this card, because I never thought that this card is actually going to work this way. Most of the illusions and most of the cards that have a 0/0 properties on them, 0 power and 0 toughness, they will enter the battlefield and die right away, unless the thing that will make them bigger will continue to support them. In case you're not familiar with how Magic works. Magic has a lot of nuances. It's a relatively simple game right from the get-go, but the true magic is actually in nuances. So the more you play, the more nuanced situations you will encounter, and this is one of the awesomest things about Magic. This is the reason why I want to play historic format. This is the reason why I don't like standard. So at this point we are in standard, but once the rotation happen, I'm not going to play in standard at all. I mean, maybe some of the decks that I will build not going to have certain cards from the historic era. But in most cases, okay, let's just pay. It's a problem. I'm not going to be able to kill a Johnny with anything. It's going to become bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. Historic format. So yeah, if you're interested in the information about the current state of beta in historic, about the upcoming historic, you could read this link that I posted in chat, and also it's going to be visible on top in a video once I will upload it on YouTube in about a week or so. I knew that opponent is not going to block, also we don't have any... So the reason why I attacked, I wanted to for opponent to first to block with Hawk, but of course opponent wouldn't do that because this is additional growth for Johnny. This is also additional growth. Yeah, we're not going to win this game. If next turn I'm not going to put anything game-changing, which is highly unlikely. Highly likely. Cat. Okay, interesting. So we have Shiv on fire, but so what? Let's just stay in play for a couple of more turns. Snap. So yeah, this is the reason why I'm probably going to stick to historic format only, because the more cards we have, the more possibilities and the more nuances Magic has, the more experience is going to come to play. So this is one of the reasons why. Again, one of the things that could save us... Oh snap, Ujin. But one lands down before we'll be able to put it in play. So we actually have a potential for survival if we're going to put Ujin, survive for quite a while, then duplicate it and basically win the same way as we won in the first game. But it's not going to happen because the opponent is going to kill us probably quicker. But again, you never know. This is one of the awesomest things of Magic. Bam. So let's think. Here we have multiple choices. I mean, ideally the best idea would be to put +1 and block 7/7. But if opponent has a removal, then we're basically done. The other thing is to kill a Johnny Pridemate with -3, and then opponent will just kill our Ujin, and that's it. So let's just go a little bit more risky way. Oh snap. This is quite a big turn, because this dungeon gazed. Kind of a permanent top. 2 Ujins. Nope, we don't have a chance. I thought we could. I mean, one of the reasons why I'm sticking to the game, especially during the streams, like ideally, it was evident that I probably would lose. Probably on turn 4 or even 3. Once a journey started to become growing. Oh snap. So yeah, it doesn't matter how I'm going to play it. We're going to die. We have only 2 lives, so what else?
Be gone, interloper.
We're actually going to survive if our dungeon is not going to die. But again, opponent is going to produce at least 1 vampire each turn, or at least 2. 2 vampires, 8 lands, 2 vampires per turn. So now opponent thinking, oh, should I attack Ujin? Or I would rather attack Ujin because I have a copy for this guy next turn. Smart choice. I mean, I love to create tension and magic. Like, for instance, opponent like, oh, I'm winning 100%, and then something enters the battlefield, and then all of a sudden, an opponent that was 100% sure of winning now becomes to basically worry. Starts to become worried. Okay, it's a pretty interesting blocker for so. The funny thing is that we might have a chance if we will get something to, unless opponent of course is not going to kill our creatures, which is probably. It's not a killer, but it still works. I don't know, this is funny. Because I felt this way before, when I'm 100% sure that I'm going to win, like, okay, 99% sure that I'm going to win, and then something enters the battlefield, and I'm, okay, whatever. It's usually quite an interesting dynamic. Let's skip 1 health. I don't want to kill Sailor, because I want to draw a card. Okay, bit interesting. So we actually might survive with 1 freaking life. So we're going to exile a Gianni with this Executioner. So yeah, in this article that I sent link to, like, it has all information that you need, how historic is planned for the future, how mastery thing is going to work. They're going to give us, by the way, one of the interesting things, they presented us with so-called renewal rewards, which basically means that if you will log in before September 26th, in the game, you will get these things, and you're not, if you didn't log in into Magic before September 26 and after, or exactly at the same time, you will get only this. So quite interesting bonus for those who played Magic before. Now we don't need lands, and we're also gaining. So I'm going to exile it on opponent's turn, not right now. And we'll continue to stay in block for now. I will lose this game. It's more like for how long I'm going to be able to survive. This is the thing that I'm interested in. If opponent would want to go through the daily quests, opponent would already quit. Apparently we're playing against an opponent who actually wants to play for fun. Although I doubt that, considering that this deck is pretty... I wouldn't say that this is 100% predictable, or quite like, for instance, this card is not necessarily predictable for this deck, but it works with Lifelink and based around Bloodthirsty, Airlist, and a Chinese Primate, mostly. So, since it's kind of costly, let's just remove this. Oh snap. And guess freaking... They still didn't get rid of this stupid bug when some of the spirits tokens or some of the tokens entering the battlefield without flying. So if you're not reading that they have flying, or if you don't know that they have flying, you could mistake in block. You could make a mistake in a block or in defense. It's still pretty risky to attack. No, it's not risky to attack. Let's attack with these guys. So yeah, the renewal rewards, this is quite interesting thing, but again, it's kind of a patch on a cut, so-called. It doesn't change anything. One of the ways that we could survive for a long period of time, if we're going to get enough removal inside of the game, and then opponents just basically run out of cards. Because again, one of the coolest things about my decks that usually, like, I almost never losing the game by emptying out my library, because I have 80 cards in the deck. Even if I'm playing against milling out decks. Scoobity papoo. So now let's just exile a Jenny. I hope I will have enough flyer blockers to actually kill Bloodthirsty Aerialist. And don't forget that once opponent is going to kill our Dungeon Gaze, this one is going to become a superpower creature. And of course we get a freaking land, what else? So yeah, so the reasons why I'm continuing to play, I kind of wanted to talk about the things outside of necessarily the game itself. So one of the things, like, besides the upcoming update that I want to talk about is probably about how I'm going to move around my schedule, like current schedule. So previously, so since I'm fully back to streaming, particularly in here on AleksTabletops, I'm going to stream as per usual 2 days a week, on Tuesday, and approximately that time that I started to stream today. Maybe an hour earlier, maybe an hour late. It all depends. And there's going to be an English streams, then Russian streams on Friday, and then oh snap.
My presence alone will guide
We're not going to win.
victory. Secrets manifest before you.
But I want to force opponent into thinking. So as I want to force myself into thinking how to survive those type of situations, because again, as long as you have life, at least one life, you have a chance to win. This is one of the core things about Magic. Of course, you have to properly read your board state. If you have unwinnable situation, then you will probably lose. But I wouldn't say that I have unwinnable situation. As long as we have creatures to block with, and as long as we have creature like cards in our deck that could disable somehow or remove some of the creatures that are opposing a threat to us, as long as we have that, we still have a chance to win. And if not, we could prolong the game to the point of opponents losing all cards in his or her deck and basically winning by milling out. Oh, nope. Sorin killed us. Okay, that was fun. I kind of forgot that Sorin. Meow. Did you hear it? Oh, it was so weird. Stupid cat. I mean, it's so freaky. By the way, we're never going to see this cat anymore, no longer. I mean, by the way, if I would have a mastery pass, I would get to this cat already. This is the weirdest strategy that since level 72, every level that I'm getting, I'm basically getting it for nothing. And one of the things, by the way, that they're going to change, first 25 levels going to have, since once the update is going to roll out, and again, it's going to be true only for those who will get this renewal reward. It basically, Eldraine set mastery, you're going to get from level 1 to level 25 special rewards. So it's basically 14 Eldraine packs instead of 12, and instead of just 2 mastery orbs, you're going to get additional plus 2 mastery rewards, yes, an additional 4 standard packs of each, sets that will be in standard, yeah, in new standard, and also 10 uncommon individual cards rewards, which is pretty cool. But again, I wish it would be not just a stupid renewal reward, but something that they actually would implement on a constant basis, because again, this is freaking unfair. That they're not focusing on free-to-play players, and at all. I mean, everything that they're creating, they're kind of like creating a weird environment for free-to-play players to stay in the game, and most of the people will probably quit. But again, it all depends how much you love Magic. If you love Magic just for Magic itself, you're probably not going to care that much about monetization and the way that you're going to earn. You still will find a way to play and adapt to it. This is at least my opinion, personal. This is the way that I will look at Magic. It doesn't matter what they're going to throw at us. If they're going to throw at us like complete weird and stupid things, they're going to, I don't know, anger me to the point of quitting. I'm probably not going to quit. So I'm just going to whine and complain for quite a while, and then just, well, whatever. Let's just continue to play. As long as we're able to play Magic this way, and not buy the actual cards, which is super costly, I'm fine with it. So so this is probably the first time that we will try to win a game based on an actual so let's think. Spirit synergy. I don't know. This monk, like, yeah, let's just keep it. We have like 5 lands. We could enter the battlefield pretty big. Oh. So yeah, this renewable reward is basically just temporary, and it only works for players that were played or logged in Magic before the update, like during September, early, mid-September, etc. So for new players, basically not going to get this. New players will still get this emptiness that we got in this Mastery season. Which again seems unfair, personally. Because when you get this experience for nothing, it's kind of disappointing. Sometimes it's not even, like, I don't know. You will get reward in between levels. So let's just go a little bit slower in this point. Hopefully we'll still have time. So what I mean by that is to, instead of playing this one, entering it battlefield, and we would probably be able to put Spark Double of the Phantom. Instead, it's better to wait, put another Supreme Phantom, and then work with Spark Double, either putting additional counters of Supreme Phantom. It's probably not going to work for Ujin's Conjurant at all, so we're not gonna do that. It just kinda seems pointless. Okay, so I don't believe that we need lands. Oh no. We're playing against another deck with pretty annoying synergy of lifelink. Especially this card is basically killing me. I mean, whenever you gain life, put 2+1/+1 counters on Gideon's Company. Come on. Like, couldn't be more cheaty. I mean, there's so many cards that could give you lifelink that this card is basically crazy. Put a loyalty counter on target Gideon Planeswalker. Okay. Not that big of a deal. We lost a creature. The only problem is that opponent gained life equal to the creature's power, which is bad. So yeah, let's just put it with 6. Oh, it's 8 because these two guys give this spirit another 2, which is actually a pretty sick blocker. Let's hope that opponent doesn't have another copy of this Consume. You gotta be kidding. Damn it! Like, you see? When you think that you won the game, I didn't necessarily thought that I will win the game, but so it wasn't a point to give, like, I wouldn't, like, I had 2 choices. I could put a +1/+2 creature to block 7/7, or I could just basically kill it completely. So I'd rather kill it, because since opponent has black and white, there's a lot of removals out there, so our Planeswalker is not going to survive for long. So if you have a option to kill creature, to destroy creature, you rather do that first, because these cards showed us that the opponent has a lot of removal in the deck, probably more removal than the creatures themselves, so it's like strictly combo deck or whatever. So There is a good possibility that opponent has Settle the Wreckage in opponent like in hand, which is pretty bad. Which means that I'm probably not going to risk attacking with 2 Supreme Phantoms. Probably will stay in defense. I don't know what opponent wants. Opponent probably has, like, there's 2 things that opponent might potentially have. So Settle the Wreckage is quite likely. So because of this, I'm not going to attack. Another thing that opponent could have is use mass removal on his or her turn and kill all of the creatures and gain life equal to the creatures died, which is probably okay. What else? Destroy. We're going to get a card. I'm not going to be able to play it this turn, but still. So yeah, this is probably going to be our last game for today. I'm not going to make the session longer for now. I'm going to get back to streaming slowly but surely. So the last thing that I want to talk about while we're playing this game is the schedule again, the thing that I wanted to talk about. So the schedule that I'm going to stick to is, for now, this. It might change, but in most cases, again, each day, no. Each Tuesday, there's going to be... Oh snap. Let's hope that opponent doesn't have mass removal. Also, if opponent is going to kill Legion, we have another one, which is pretty cool. So yeah, so there's going to be a monthly schedule. What I mean by monthly, first week is going to be a Magic the Gathering Arena play. The whole point of this is just going to play Magic the Gathering Arena, such as this week. So the first week of September is going to be just playing Magic the Gathering Arena. Tuesday is going to be a Russian session, and I will say. So yeah, we're not going to play another game. I'm just going to finish talking about the schedule, and we're going to end on that note. Let's see what the... Oh, Mythic Rare! Da-da-da-da! Da-da-da-da! Anticipation, anticipation. Wait a minute. Anticipation. 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 This is not an anticipation. It could be anticipation, but no. It could be an anticipation. I don't know. We have a lot of things for body that could work with anticipation. Nope. Anticipation? Nope. Somewhere there's gonna be anticipation. I don't have anticipation. Yep. I have a lot of things except anticipation. Either way.
Let us march into battle and make new comrades.
Pretty cool, pretty cool. I actually have only one Liliana. I have all Planeswalkers, one each, from the collection, I believe. So, yeah, it's quite cool. This is probably a second copy of Chandra, which is cool. So yeah, again, in terms of the schedule, so the schedule is going to be monthly. So the first week of each month, it might shift, but mostly because it all depends where exactly the month will start. So the first week is always going to be MTG Study, when we're just going to play Magic Arena on Tuesdays in English and on Fridays in Russian. So Tuesdays Russian English sessions, Fridays Russian sessions. Then there's going to be 1 week of, the second week is going to be MTG Set Studies, which is going to consist of 2 parts, Part 1 and Part 2, which will be the same number of session for MTG Set Studies as for the session the week before. So for instance, next week there's going to be 2 MTG Set Study sessions, when we're going to start to study new set. from all Magic sets, and it's gonna be 140th session, which is this session 140, but for MTG set study. Usually they will be presented in black and white thumbnail on YouTube at AleksTabletops. So yeah, and then this thing will repeat itself every 2 weeks. So again, first week regular play, Magic Arena play, second week MTG set studies, 2 episodes on Tuesday and on Friday in English because I'm studying sets in English. Then we will be back third week of the month to MTG Arena play, and again on Tuesday English session and on Friday Russian session, and then the last week of the month, fourth week, is going to be again back to MTG set study, which is going to again be part 1 and part 2. Part 1 on Tuesday and part 2 on Friday. So this is kind of a monthly schedule that I'm going to hopefully maintain. I'm not going to go too crazy about it. Ideally, it would be awesome to stream a little bit more time than just 1 hour. But for now, I'm going to stick to 1 hour, unless it's going to be necessary. I mean, since I don't have any audience, like at least active audience, it's kind of like I'm just streaming for myself personally, having fun, and hopefully someone is going to stick around and have fun with me. So something like this, so the whole idea, and as long as I'm just studying things, I'm fine. So, and the reason why I decided to go with this schedule, because I wanted to focus more on actually studying Magic sets than just playing Magic, because again, I'm not going to gain anything from playing necessarily Magic. I'm still continuing to play Magic outside of the streams, at least during the day, at least 5 wins. I'm usually playing for at least until 5 wins. So I will continue to grow, but to stream a lot of gaming content just doesn't seem right for me, because the whole idea of AleksTabletops in the future is going to be slow transition from gaming content for playing those games into creating my own games and then playing them. So this is going to be a completely different dynamic, and before I will get there, I kind of need to study all Magic sets right from the beginning to current sets, and it's going to take a lot of time. And 2 streams per month wasn't enough, and I decided to basically extend them to 4 streams per month by adding like additional week to it. And by that, of course, I kind of stole 1 week from MTG Arena play. But again, hopefully this balance will work, and it's basically going to be from now on 50% of studying Magic by actually studying Magic, and 50% of playing Magic for now, until I will bring back MTG Quick Study, which will be at some point. So yeah, on that note, I will end the session. Thank you for watching, thank you for being here, have a nice day or night, and again, see you in the next session, which is going to be in Russian this Friday. And again, join us next week on MTG Set Studies on Tuesday and Friday, and the week after we're going to be back with MTG Study in English on the 3rd week of the month on Tuesday. So yeah, bye. Bye, this is bye too.